Hello. Welcome to the Beard Out Podcast. Podcast where we talk about the two greatest things in the world. Beer and Weird Al Yankovic. My Aunt Lala and my dad are the hosts of the show. Thanks for listening to the Beard Out Podcast, part of the iPods Media Network. Stay weird and enjoy the show.
Here's the theme song.
Well, hey, how are you doing? Have a seat. Have a drink. Boy, I can glad to see you. What can you say? Where's Lala?
Oh my God. Oh my God. So, you've heard very special episodes of the Beard Owl podcast before, but I don't know how often we keep track of things that have never happened before. And something that has never happened before is 3 people in the same physical space recording for the Beard Owl podcast. And I know for a fact that has never happened before. And that is happening right now.
Is it safe to call this a very, very special episode?
I'm going to put that in the title. It's a very, very special epised.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
Hooray!
Pretty special.
So, oh God, a couple months ago here on the Beard Owl podcast, we did, it was not even months ago. It was a couple of years ago. It was me and my brother John and our cousin Brian. And we were like, oops, all Carries. But guess what? Today it's oops, all Robinsons, because it's me and Russ.
I feel like this isn't even oops all Robinsons. This is premeditated all Robinsons.
Yeah, this is Meet the Robinsons.
We talked about this for like a month.
Well done.
Yeah.
And so it's Russ.
Like,
and
I feel
Zakk.
like it could be a very menacing trailer. Like, oops, all Robinsons.
But you don't even, dude.
They made a movie. It's called Meet the Robinsons.
No, I'm talking about this could be like a horror movie, though.
You don't even have to do it that way, right?
Oops, all Robinson.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Right?
That's pretty scary.
I get to use the button.
you did.
So, Russ, my husband, and host of his own podcast, the Infectious Groove podcast,
Correct.
is
Pretty
here.
good podcast.
You know all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't need to belabor that point here anymore. And
Like, if people aren't listening to the Infectious Groove podcast or subscribe to the Infectious Groove music channel on YouTube, like, that's on y'all.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
first of all, I'm on essentially half of the videos on the Infectious Groove,
Yeah, minimum.
music channel on YouTube. So, you like me, you should go watch that.
Yeah, I'm a viewer of the channel and I love it.
Okay,
I love
well,
the channel.
And comment, by the way.
yeah, comment.
I get people in my real life that are like, oh, I watched like half a day of your videos the other day. And I'm like, oh, what did you like? And then they tell me a bunch. And I'm like, okay, but you should comment, though. And they're like, oh, I didn't do that.
Comment on it. It's
I try and
important.
comment when I have feedback to give.
Right. No, I know. You're exempt from everything. You're my kid.
Okay.
Yay.
So you just introduced that. So yeah, Zakk is his kid, and he's here.
And
Hi,
he is
Zakk.
your stepson.
And he's my stepson.
I've been on the show twice.
Once,
three?
Twice, 3 times a lady.
At least twice. Yeah.
Just you and me have been on here twice.
Yeah,
And then I was on a special edition.
special episode.
Special episode.
This is your 4th overall appearance, I believe, on this show. Yes, and but this is your first time as officially part of the Beard Owl podcast family, because I've since married your father.
Yes.
And so, now you're part of the Beard Owl podcast family, and this is all very official and very important.
I'm happy to be here.
You did it.
Well done.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even do my thing. This is the Beard Owl podcast. It's the podcast where we talk about 2 of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And I
had to pop myself a beer.
thank you.
I don't make those drops for no reason.
Yeah, he's the reason I have all the buttons on Button Boy, so thank you, husband.
Yeah, ain't no thing.
Oh,
The buttons are useful. They're very, you use them all the time. They're very good.
I do.
Yes.
There's a fly in this room, and I'm finding it very distracting.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's been following us from room to room, and I'm pretty upset over it.
It's the worst. But, we will survive. So, people listening, you know that we have kind of been doing this. We not even been kind of doing it. We have fully been doing this series of talking about underrated tracks on weird albums. And this felt like the most appropriate thing for us to do here today because the first time Russ appeared on this program was nearly 3 years ago, just doing an overview of the Poodle Hat album,
Yes.
which you feel is the most underrated Weird Al album overall anyway.
Oh, no, it just is.
It just is.
Yeah.
It's not underrated for me because I've grown up listening to a lot of music off of that album because it is, I'm not going to speak for him, but I think it's one of, if not his favorite Weird Al album. And it's just like, I define underrated as like, if you can listen to it and be like, okay, well, that's good and I never heard it before. And so it's not underrated for me personally because I've grown up listening to it my whole life.
Yep.
That's because you were raised right.
Yes, I was.
Most people weren't raised right.
We keep the YouTube channel very positive, and I keep my podcast positive. And of course, yours, like you have a Weird Al based podcast, so of course it's going to be positive. But
Yes.
and I was going to try. I've been thinking about this today. I was going to try and find a way to dance around this, but there's no way to dance around this. Very recently, you and I posted in the close personal friends of Al Facebook group that we were listening to Poodle Hat, and like everybody in the world came out of the woodwork to be like, "Oh, what a piece of crap album!" Blah, 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 blah. Nope, nope. Like, if you love White and Nerdy and you love Smells Like Nirvana and you love Eat It and you want to call yourself a Weird Al fan, like that's great, cool, like awesome, right? But like to not understand the comedy and the nuance that is the majestic album that is Poodle Hat, and then have the nerve to get on social media and be like, blah, blah, I know better than you. Like, no. First of all, even if you dislike it, great. Someone else was enjoying it, maybe just let them enjoy what they were enjoying without coming down off your high horse,
I
right?
feel like a lot of people in my generation specifically have grown up in the internet era where everyone has an opinion about everything. So
Right, yeah, you have to share it. Yeah.
What I've witnessed with my generation and a little bit older, like the younger millennials,
Yeah.
is no one wants to talk about their personal music taste
Right.
because they're afraid of someone being like, well, that's garbage.
Well, it's not even that people want to talk about their own taste. They just want to insult what someone else likes.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what I mean with the Poodle Hat thing. Like her and I were like, hooray, we're listening to Poodle Hat. People were like, I'm better than you. Okay. Well, tell us what you love though. You know what I mean? Like, tell me about why do you love Polka Party or Off the Deep End better? Or you probably don't even know the names of those songs, or albums, not you, but the people on the Facebook page. You know what I mean? But like, don't come at people with that. I think this record is ridiculously brilliant. I think the worst thing on it is the first single on the record, and then everything else is, really, it's top. Every song on this record except for the lead single is top notch Weird Al.
I absolutely agree with that. And it's funny because the three of us in the car today on our travels throughout, the world, we were listening to this album, and in my mind, I'm like, oh man, this could be the one. Oh no, this could be the one. Every track that came on, I was like, this could be the most underrated track on this album.
When you started playing it in the car today, I was dead set on the track that was going to be my most underrated song for this episode we're doing right now. It changed 3 times over the course of the album.
I believe it.
Playing. I have one now, but it's like I'm going to go on quite a dissertation about nearly every track on the record while you go through them.
Well, great. So we're going to have a very loaded front half of this.
Oh, yeah.
While we discuss the stuff on this album. And I love it. I love that, again, like nearly 3 years ago, you and I talked about this album in its entirety. And now we're here with this series that you were like, you should talk about underrated tracks and albums. This was all your idea.
I did say that.
It was your idea, and I'm giving you credit.
I know.
This
I wasn't saying you weren't.
I know. And I love that this is the third one of these that you've been on out of the 13 Weird Al albums.
Well, I mean, as you know, and I'm not
you.
being funny now. This is my whole thing. Is my whole thing in life is underrated.
yeah.
I semi stole this from Aaron Sorkin. There's a scene near the end of the show, The Newsroom, where these little snarky morons are sitting making a website like you would see on the internet, and it's the 10 most overrated movies of all time, and they go back to all the way back to The Matrix, which is like what 20 years ago now, 25 years ago, something like that. And in any case, the character on The Newsroom says 25 years and all time are two completely different measurements of time.
Yeah.
Right. And then he goes, and also what hurts to say underrated instead of overrated. Right. And so I've kind of lived my life since then being like, yeah, like, why do we have to crap on things just because a bunch of people love a thing doesn't mean that it's bad. Right.
Yeah.
So like, let's all talk about the thing more people should love. And then hopefully more people will just love more things instead of all being like, yeah, that popular thing is awful because I'm cool on the internet.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that was why I suggested that to you.
No, and I love this series, and the series has produced so many fun conversations that I am very happy to have had that suggestion.
And there's no wrong answer. You were saying to Zakk earlier today, there's no, like, if it doesn't matter if somebody says on here, like, Genius in France is my most underrated song on here. Like, you could make a case for why, even though a lot of Weird Al fans love that song, right? There's no wrong answer to underrated. There's every answer to overrated is wrong
yes.
because someone somewhere loves that,
Yeah.
right? Every answer to underrated is right.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what we're here for, and this is what I'm so excited about. And I'm ready to have so much fun with this. This is the most exciting thing, I think, to me. So, folks, Poodle Hat came out on May 20th, 2003. So we are celebrating this year the 20th anniversary of Poodle Hat.
3
Which is
years
so
older
rad.
than me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I know. So that's funny to have somebody in the room who's like, this album has existed longer than my entire life. And we're like, this kind of happened like mid through my Weird Al fandom.
Well, this is like in 3D for you. Yeah, because in 3D came out, what, 2-3 years before you were born?
In 3D came out 1 year before I was born.
1 year.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is-
I'm a Dare to Be Stupid baby.
Right. Yeah. I mean, who amongst us isn't?
Right, but I'm a Dare to Be Stupid baby. John is an even worse baby.
Yeah.
And he was an even worse baby.
Right. Well done.
Sibling dig, and he's not here to hear it.
Sing.
But it's true. And
So anyways, it opens up with the worst song on the record.
it does indeed. And yes, open up with the worst song on the record, Couch Potato, which is a parody of Lose Yourself by Eminem. And
It just could be, so for those you're listening and you may not see, my son just gave me a look like I'm nuts. It's Eminem, the original song Lose Yourself is brilliant. Weird Al has proven over and over that he is a exceptional rapper.
Yeah.
He, on this track, does not show off his ability to rap exceptionally.
Yeah, I can see that, but it's still. I don't believe that there is a horrible Weird Al song.
No, I didn't say it was horrible. I said it's the worst song on this record.
Yeah.
This absolutely, let me put it this way, it shouldn't have been the first single, let alone a single. I don't think it should have been either.
now, let me posit that I agree that this is nowhere near Weird Al's best rap parody.
It's not even close.
It's not even
Twister
close.
is better than this as far as rap
Twister is indeed better than this.
Yeah.
Would this have been different had Eminem allowed him to make a video for it?
goes. No.
No?
The song is not good. Like,
So even if Weird Al put a visual spin on it, do you
what
not
was he
think...
going to do? Do you know the visuals that go along with 8 Mile? There was nothing he was going to make that was going to be fun.
No, that's fair. That's
See what I'm
fair.
saying?
I guess.
That,
I
and
guess.
you sit here, you know full well that there's a much better song that should have been the first single off this record.
I do, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. So my thing, Zakk, is when you think about every song that Eminem's ever done follows the same formula. The first verse is okay. The second verse is sort of on fire. And the third verse is like, holy wow, that's why people
Yeah.
love Eminem, right? And Weird Al does that in Couch Potato. The first verse is okay at best. Second verse is a little bit better. And the third verse is far and away the best one. But it's a subject that Weird Al has done many times before.
Yes, this
Just
is
sitting
so
around
many
watching
TV,
TV.
TV music.
It's not as creative as he could have been. And I don't feel that Lose Yourself, well, like if he had done this when The Real Slim Shady or Without Me came out, those songs were everywhere. Okay. Lose Yourself for Eminem, and this comes from a guy who lived in Detroit at the time. That was when Eminem had reached overexposed era. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this isn't Beat It, and this isn't It Smells Like Nirvana. Like, this is where the artist had already been overexposed. So by the time Weird Al got to this topic, people were like, oh, yeah. I mean, I got it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's like a million different ways that this just, it's like, let me put it this way. This is the only Weird Al album ever that when the first track ends, I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because the rest of this rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that we're nipping this in the bud right now.
Yeah, we don't have to get to a point where
because
we go, oh, crap, here comes track 5.
I feel like, no, because we're not going to have to talk about
But
Couch
you had-
Potato anymore.
Yeah, like I see all of your points, but like I don't like there are albums that like there's a song like the first song on it that I will 100% like move the needle a little bit further and drop it on the second track.
Right.
This is not like that.
No,
Like,
I can
it's
see
not
that.
like skippable. It's like it's just not as good as it could have been. Is like I feel like that sums up the
It's
point
not-
that you're trying to make.
Ooh, his whole take on Eminem is not as good as his whole take on Eminem could have been.
Yeah.
It's not just this track. It's if he had done Without Me or The Real Slim Shady or Till I Collapse or any number of other Eminem songs, he would have done it better than this song.
So the polka on this album ends with The Real Slim Shady.
Right.
Do you posit that it would have behooved him to parody that instead?
Not at this time. Because that's 2 albums before.
Okay.
Because Eminem had already put out the Eminem Show and then the 8 Mile soundtrack.
So you've got the whole timeliness factor of
Right.
it, which is crazy.
Which
Yeah.
is weird to me. When the very first time I heard this record, I was like, why is Slim Shady on that? Okay. It was weird that it was in the...
Well, because he was covering basically
I know, but that was 2 albums before
well,
this.
Weird Al's last album before this came out in '99.
I
So
know,
he's
but I'm saying...
covering angry white boys
No, I
for
understand
4
that.
years. So yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Which Eminem is an angry white boy.
No, that's for sure. Just to be clear on this whole thing, I think Weird Al is as good or better of a rapper than Eminem. And I grew up in Detroit. Every part of 8 Mile anybody listening to this has ever heard about in their life, I've been on that part of 8 Mile. I know I got into rap when I was 7 years old. I'll lay out all my credentials. This is not a person who just loves Weird Al and doesn't know anything about rap. I'm telling you, Weird Al is as good or better of a rapper than Eminem. This track just isn't as good. That's why this track isn't as good as it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of rappers who have, not even rappers, just like artists who have better technical skill when it comes to rapping than Eminem.
Yeah.
But he's carved out a place for himself in rap history because of
Right.
who he is and how he's done it and he made history. He did something different.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we have spoken about Couch Potato. Track 2, Hardware Store. It's a Weird Al original. Classic.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's so fast. He's never performed it live because he can't.
I know. Yeah. It's such a great cut, though.
So, but we all love it. We all love it. I think it's delightful and delicious.
And it's one of those songs that I every now and then will hear most likely when I'm here with you. But because surprisingly other places aren't as Weird Al track heavy.
You know what?
why.
I'm working on it.
It's not a bad thing. But it's one of those songs that I'll forget exists. I feel bad for that, but I'll forget that it
I know.
exists.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back and I'll be like, God, that song is amazing.
Yep. That's how a lot of this record is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I went on that rant earlier. I would imagine most people on that group that were like, "Blah, blah, blah," have never even, if you hear Hardware Store, you'd be like, oh, I love that song.
Yep.
Yeah.
You love Hardware Store. Remember, that's on Poodle Hat. Remember, all this crap you love is on Poodle Hat. So anyway, Trash Day, which is a parody of Hot and Her by Nelly, is the third track on Poodle Hat. And this is a song that I forget happens sometimes until it shows up because it's just kind of so buried in some of the other stuff on this. But lyrically, it's so clever. This is one of the most so clever.
This is the parody that song deserves.
Yes.
This is how I make my case against Hardware Store, or I'm not Hardware Store, Couch Potato, is with this. This is exactly as good as a parody of a Nelly song should be.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're saying what our favorite track is on this album.
Not yet. You don't go with your you can say your favorite.
You can say your favorite, just not
This-
most underrated.
Yeah, this is like we listened to the whole album earlier today,
It's so good.
and this is my. I love when Weird Al shows how clever he can be.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite track off this album.
It's your
It's
favorite.
so
Hands down.
funny. It's so funny.
It is.
Like this, again, Weird Al is an exceptional rapper.
Yeah.
And he shows off in this song how he's as good or better than a guy who I respect, by the way. I'm not crapping on Nelly.
No.
Yeah.
Spent his entire life in the Southern rap game. And Weird Al's like, here, let me just do it. You do exactly as good as you do it or better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what Weird Al do be doing.
Yep.
But he does it in a respectful manner. He isn't
Always.
mean about it because he's a nice guy.
Correct.
I mean, unless you're gonna do it. And so track 5 on Poodle Hat is "Angry White Boy Polka," which we alluded to earlier.
Yes.
And man, listening through this, or we listened to this, the three of us today, again as we were kind of like driving around. This was kind of the soundtrack to my, senior year of high school.
Yeah.
A lot of these songs, like, it's not necessarily stuff that I listened to on purpose. It's just what was kind of in the atmosphere.
I feel like a lot of those songs are soundtracks to many people's senior year of high school.
Here, if you knew anybody from 1999 to 2002 with a low melatonin count and rich parents who fancied themselves as underprivileged and misunderstood, which, by the way, neither of those things were they had all of these CDs in their truck and played them repeatedly for everyone.
Not just during that time period. It's coming from someone who's in high school.
Yeah.
All of those songs are well played in my
I know.
in my high school.
Really?
Which is
that's
gross.
interesting and weird. Because I
That's
only had
gross.
2. I had the album with the Strokes, the album with Last Night on it,
Yeah.
and I had the album Fell in Love with a Girl, the White
Oh
Stripes.
yeah, the third White Stripe.
So I had those two that were like right in the middle of this. Those are the only 2 albums that I actually owned on CD. Everything else, like, I just kind of heard. I had a lot of friends that were into those the bands at the time. So, how, like, the Hives, like all this, that, and the other. And then I think my mom might have had that Disturbed album because my mom.
Oh, I'm certain of it.
My mom was.
I know
my
Jen.
mom.
Jen owned that record.
No, I didn't say John. I said my
Jen.
mom.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen.
Jen.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
mom.
No, she was into that. So she
I'm
had.
certain your mom owned that record.
So you look at my mom and you said, "Down with the sickness." She will literally look at you and go, "Wah!" and like do a whole thing about it. So she enjoyed that. But yeah, I didn't have anything else to do with this. But I'm familiar with everything on this, which I think this is the last Weird Al polka that I was familiar with
Where you
everything
knew every
on
song on it, yeah.
before I heard it.
Yeah.
And I hate saying this myself, but a lot of people my age in Detroit don't know who Jack White is. And
Yeah, which is gross.
Besides Seven Nation Army, I have to be like, oh, Jack White, because
I know.
our cat is named after Jack White,
Correct.
and I'll be like, oh, Jack White, and they'll be like, no.
My thing is, you don't even have to love Jack White, and it shouldn't be a Detroit thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to sit around and complain on the internet about how there's no rock music anymore, then you don't get to be like, I don't know who Jack White is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because the cat's out there all the time doing it.
Yeah.
Interesting sidebar. 3 of the artists on the Angry White Boy polka are from Detroit.
Yeah. Jack,
White Boys.
Eminem, and whom?
Ba what da ba da bang da bang diggy
well,
diggy.
we don't count him.
But he's from there.
Angry White Boys come out of Detroit.
Apparently, 2 of them are in my house right now.
I don't know about angry.
You're both very white. Are you white?
What?
White? Are you white?
Hit the Casey Kasem.
White, white. So there's the polka. That's delightful and fun. Okay, so the next track on Poodle Hat is Wanna Be Your Lover, which some have said is a style parody of Prince, but according to this Wikipedia article that I'm reading from right now, it said it is a style parody of Midnight Vultures era Beck.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds a lot more.
That's so much more accurate than saying it's about Prince. I've heard like a lot of people say "Want to Be Your Lover" as a Prince, and I'm gonna get on a high horse. I don't mean to. Like Prince has released 40 records while he was alive, literally 40 records.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about hits packages and live records. Dude released 40 studio records while he was alive. I've heard every song on every one of them many times. Prince never made one song that sounds like "Want to Be Your Lover."
Yeah.
Now, if you listen to Midnight Vultures era of Beck, that's what this song sounds like.
Yeah, and I have been very much agreeant that this sounds nothing like anything Prince
Not
ever
even
released.
one song Prince ever recorded.
And I don't know about like style parodies, but I know very publicly Prince did not want Weird Al to make a cover of any of his songs, which I
Yep.
have many personal opinions about. I feel like Prince is an amazing artist, but come on.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
And
he was
like-
very had an iron grip on his image.
He
Yeah.
wanted to control his own narrative, which
At
I
all times.
completely
Yeah,
understand.
which I get.
And here's the thing: Prince could be funny. Case in point, the New
He's
Girl
extremely
episode.
funny.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
was on.
very funny.
You know,
dude.
When he could control what the product that he looked
Right.
like and what image he was putting out, he was comfortable.
Here's my thing: as much as all of us love Weird Al, like it wasn't Prince's bag. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. Like I'm fine. Like I love Weird Al. If Prince was still here, well, first of all, hallelujah, and second of all, I would sit down with him, try and convince him, be like, dude, really? But like that's, he thought New Girl was funny. He didn't find Weird Al funny. That's okay.
Yeah.
yeah, he's
And-
allowed.
Like, I don't know if Weird Al would do a style parody of Prince after Prince said no, because
No.
I know that's
No,
very
he-
much his thing.
yeah.
Where if an artist says no, he will not do it.
Yeah.
Well, he did do Traffic Jam.
Right. Which
Yeah.
but that's what I'm talking a little different than what Zakk's talking about. Like after Prince passed, people were like, "Oh, are you gonna do it?" Weird Al was like, "No." Prince said no, and that's like the final word
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
not here anymore. So I was straight parody no, but yeah, I did. He
the
did do
Pastiches
Traffic Jam
Traffic
is
Jam?
like pre Purple Rain, which I respect the hell out of because that's like Prince. It's Weird Al going deep to do Prince. It
Yep.
doesn't sound just like Purple Rain and Forward, which is what most people know from Prince.
Yeah.
Most people know Prince from like 84 to like 91. And there was like many years before that and many years after that. And I love that the one time Weird Al did it, it's not that era that everyone else knows.
Yep.
Because it's Delirious that he's
Yeah.
doing in Traffic
Yeah,
Jam.
yeah. Weird Al's basically just saying like, I'm gonna do it, but you're not gonna know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That in and of itself is a joke I think Prince would appreciate.
Yeah,
But anyways, go on.
very deep. All right, so track 7 on Poodle Hat is a complicated song, which is a parody of "Complicated" by Avril Lavigne. And I'm gonna jump in and say right now that I love that this is a narrative done in 3 parts
Yeah.
because the joke could have gotten very stale if it was done any other way.
Yeah.
I don't love this and I don't hate it. It's just there. It's one of those, it's like Handy where I don't hate the original song, but I don't love it. But I
Yeah.
will say that yes, if it was just the one joke 3 times in a row, I would have been like, wow, I don't want to hear this at all. Whereas now, at least for the word play on all 3 plays on the word, then I'm fine with sticking around for it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, it's just kind of neither here nor there.
That's no fault of anyone's, and I like that. Yeah, because that's honestly that's kind of how I felt about Avril Lavigne at the time. It's
No,
like,
me
okay,
too. Yeah.
this is
I
sort
actually
of-
went and saw her. I took a family member to see her on her first big tour, and she was great. Like I didn't hate any part of the show at all. She was fine.
Yeah. So then track 8 on Poodle Hat is Why Does This Always Happen to Me, which is a style parody of Ben Folds.
So good.
With Ben Folds playing piano on the track.
Which you have to love.
Oh yeah.
I love this song.
It's so good.
I didn't love it initially. This is one of those songs that took a long time to grow on me. But then when COVID happened, I felt that first verse very deeply because they kept busting into the prices right with like special reports about
Yeah.
like COVID numbers. And I was like, can you just like not interrupt my show though?
Yeah.
Well, the more every single day that I open social media, this song ages better. Right?
Yeah.
Because you just see people all the time, like, and of course I would never make light of this, but like currently there's the thing going on in Hawaii as we were recording this. And I have literally seen people on social media be like, oh no, people have vacation property there. And I'm like, but what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
What are you talking
literally every day, this song ages better for me.
Yeah.
Every day. Like, which is the worst, but is true.
Yeah. It just speaks to how firmly Weird Al has his pulse on.
No, he totally gets it. Like
He gets it so much.
He gets the human condition to a point where back then I was like, oh, I know a guy like that. And now I'm like, oh, I know every guy like that.
Yeah.
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 Weird Al's just the best. And he points out the worst. And that's what makes him the best.
In a way that can make you laugh at it. Like,
Yep.
Okay, so the thing with the Hawaii posts, right? That makes me physically angry, right?
Yeah.
But listening to Weird Al do it in the song, I'm like, lols. You know what I mean?
I love Weird Al because he can see the worst in humanity and still be happy. He's
Yeah.
not just
Yep.
going to be like, well, life sucks, and I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
going to go cry about it.
Yep.
Then that's
He's
how
doing
you-
his best to still put a smile on everyone else's faces.
He's doing what you guys tried to do, and he's just putting out as much positivity as he physically can.
In fairness, and
all
I'm
times.
not trying to be that guy, but like we do that because of him.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's-
This show in
Yeah.
particular, we do that because of him. Like,
he's literally the only thing sometimes that keeps me being like, all right, you got to still be funny, like try and help people.
Yeah.
I remember it was it was the beginning of 2021 and I wanted to kick off 2021 in a great way with this show. And so I solicited a lot of recordings from, other people in the Weird Al community and the podcast community about like what does Weird Al mean to you? And that was one of the most meaningful episodes that we ever put out in the show. And I cried listening to some of the entries that came in, and Weird Al liked my tweet about that episode coming out,
Yeah.
which was something.
Long before we knew each other in a biblical sense.
Yes,
You wrote me an email back and you were like, I just cried listening to your entry.
I did.
Yeah. You should do that again.
We should. I
You should do that
again.
episode again.
Yeah, I should.
Because I'm sure Weird Al means different things to the same people now.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. So, folks, listen, if you've made it this far, we're gonna do that again. I think maybe to kick off 2024. So keep that in mind. Anyhow, what got me about that was that Weird Al has been the thing for so many people that has kept them going through so many. Things like hard times, like normal times. He's
I've derailed this episode a lot already, so I'll be quiet soon. But this thing now where quote unquote nerd culture is cool, right? Talk to me about that. When I was a kid and I was like, I brought Dare to Be Stupid to show and tell. Like, and people in school were just like, what are you even doing? Right.
Yeah.
Because at the time they were like, isn't that the Eater guy? Like everybody does. Right. I was like, yeah, but I love this whole album though. People were like, no, like that dude made being yourself cool way before this whole, just because Marvel made a movie now, quote, nerd culture is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways, we should keep going through
We
the
should
tracks
keep going
here.
because we're still in the first half of this episode. So the track 9 is "Ode to a Superhero," which is a cover of "Piano Man" by William Joel. You know what? I'm going to say this right now. I'm a big Billy Joel fan. I don't care for this parody, and it's probably because I don't much care for "Piano Man" because it's kind of like the most played out
Yeah.
Billy Joel song.
Yeah.
So this just misses for me in a lot of places. But I will say that I like that this is a departure from a lot of the previous I'm singing about a movie songs that he's done before this, because you have an unreliable narrator, which the other ones didn't have. This is like
Right.
that glider thing. I don't know. So it's like a drunk guy in a bar like you would have in Piano Man talking about
Right.
just having seen the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I love this song. I mean, I see all of your points, but I feel like I love Piano Man, but I can see how you would be the same. Like, I feel like when I'm out and I hear Billie Jean come on, I'm like, oh, I love that, but I wish you had played like maybe Bad or something,
the same way
something
with
a little
Pink
bit.
Floyd.
But it's like it's an amazing song. It's just Piano Man's a bit overplayed.
My only thoughts on this, the very first time I heard the record when it started, I was like, huh? Because like Piano Man wasn't a current hit. It didn't have a resurgence, right? Like on even worse, with I think I'm a Clone Now and Alimony, right? Like those songs had just been covered recently and they had a resurgence. You know what I mean? And like Piano Man didn't have a resurgence.
So I bring to you The Saga Begins.
No,
Why
I'm
did
not,
he,
I'm not-
was he trying to recreate The Saga Begins
don't
with Ode to
know.
a Superhero?
Well, it wasn't a single, so
But like,
your argument is valid. I'm just saying then why wasn't it a single? That was my only thing. The
Because it
first time I
wasn't
listened to
that
this
great.
record, I was just like, when it started, right, and the harmonica comes in, I was like, do what now? Like, why is this happening?
Well, I feel like with you saying that, I don't know about when a Saga Begins, but was that around the time Phantom Menace came out?
No.
No,
Yeah,
before?
Saga Begins was around the time Phantom Menace came
Yeah.
out.
So was this around the
Around
time?
the time of Spider-Man, yeah, but the
Yeah.
song I was just surprised by.
Well, yeah, the song, but I feel like he can make an exception and go back to an old
Yeah.
song that he can do that for a topic
No,
of
yeah.
the cover that is current and relevant.
The logic stands. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about the very first time I listened to it.
Yeah.
And me personally, I would rather hear this song than Piano Man. So, like,
Yeah.
I'll do Superhero. I would rather listen to than Piano Man.
I mean, I'd listen to both back to back just because I feel like you have both lived longer lives than me, and you've heard Piano Man way more than me.
way more.
But I still
Hey, do you
love
want me to
Piano
share
Man.
a fun fact with you that's literally radio for one, and I'm sure no one listening cares about? You know what I recently found out? You know who drummed on the song Piano Man, like the original version of Piano Man?
No.
Ronnie Tutt.
Well, that makes it even better.
There you go. So Elvis's drummer, Ronnie Tutt. So
One
that's
of
him
the best
playing.
drummers
Anytime
of
you
all
ever hear that song, that's Tutt playing drums.
He had to do a nice little waltz.
Yep.
Okay, so the song after Ode to a Superhero is Bob, which is a style parody of Bob Dylan, all in
Criminally
palindromes.
underrated, this
Oh,
track.
don't tip your hand though.
No, I'm not. No, I'll tell you right now, this isn't even what I picked. Son of a bee sting. Sorry about my language. This has got to be one of his best pastiches that he has ever made.
It's
gotta
brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is controversial to say. I do not like. I like what he writes, but I do not like Bob Dylan's voice.
Nobody does.
Nobody likes Bob Dylan's
I've
voice.
met a few people that quite enjoy his voice, and,
No, they tell you they do. They don't.
Okay.
They're
They
being-
wanna
they're
be
being hipsters.
cool.
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah, they want to be hip and cool. No, they don't. No one on earth enjoys Bob.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan doesn't like Bob Dylan's voice.
and
I wish
bet,
I didn't sound like this, but this is what I sound like. Huh.
I bet Bob Dylan has had this played for him, and I guarantee he like laughed at it
I'm sure he did.
because it is hilarious. Because I was sitting in the back seat cracking up when we were listening to
Oh,
this.
it's
'cause
perfect.
It's hilarious because like everyone. Well, now I know everyone doesn't like his voice, and it's funny to make fun of it because he's just such a good writer.
Yep.
But all the talent went into one bucket, I guess.
Yeah, and I think what's funny about the Bob song, especially since all the lyrics are palindromes, is that it sounds unintentionally deep without meaning anything.
Well, yeah.
Which kind
Which
of
is probably how
Well,
Bob wrote most of his lyrics.
I'm at the Regal, the German.
But yeah,
Oh,
literally
so
every
good.
line in this song is the same forward as it is backwards, and the talent level to write this song alone is insane.
Yeah.
I just want to give him a big hug. It's delightful. And Bob is followed by eBay, which is a parody of I Want It That Way.
Which should have
By
been the first
Backstreet-
song off the record.
Should have been the lead single.
This should have been the
eBay
lead
is
single.
So good.
It should have been the lead single.
I don't like. There was a resurgence recently with TikTok of "I Want It That Way" being very big for my generation, and every time someone plays that, I'm like, okay, but here's a better one.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Everything
it
about
is.
it's brilliant. The production is brilliant. The vocals are insanely good. The lyric is it's kind of still topical. Like eBay's still a thing, right? Like people would still get these jokes, right? Like for example, Craigslist, which is one of my favorite pastiches. That aged poorly, right? Because Craigslist isn't a thing. You would have to explain Craigslist to
And
someone.
it even came out after this.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
crazy.
I'm saying you would have to explain what Craigslist is to someone young to get the joke of that song, right? People still know what eBay is. so it hasn't aged poorly. Everything about this absolutely should have been the first single off the record. I think this record would have done millions times better with eBay being the first single.
I agree wholeheartedly and completely.
And I don't know. I buy a lot because I'm into sports and I buy a lot of vintage hockey stuff off eBay. Every time
You
I
found it
click
on
buy, the song plays in my head.
Yep.
As it
Every
should.
time.
That's funny for me because some of the shirts that I have in my hashtag Weird Al Everyday collection, I have bought on eBay.
Right. Which
And
is so
it's
meta.
the most meta thing that's
Yeah.
ever happened. So every time I put one of my eBay Weird Al shirts on, and I know which one,
And you're
I
like,
know which
"What
one's those
up
are on eBay.
It's brilliant. Should have been the first single off the record. Come at me about it.
No, nobody's coming.
No,
at you
not
now.
you. I'm just listeners. Come at
Oh,
me about it.
okay.
Somebody present to me a solid argument why this shouldn't have been the first single
There
off
is
the
no
record.
solid argument. And oh my God, we have one last song on this album to talk about before we take our break and go into what we think are the most underrated tracks and all the things we've talked about. And the last song on this is Genius and French, which is a
Brilliant.
style parody of Frank Zappa.
Brilliant. I'm not even, if I start talking, I'll go away. Just brilliant. That's all I'm going to say. It's
Okay,
just brilliant.
I'll let you say it.
It's amazing. I've been in France. It's right. It's true.
You just were. Yes.
true.
And
It's
so
all
you
true.
know you have first-hand experience.
I will expand and I'll shut myself up. I will tell you this. I'm not a Frank Zappa guy, but I can appreciate what happens in the song.
What zappens?
I have known many Zappa guys, like dudes who own like huge swaths of his discography. Every one of them that has heard this is like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. So, it's brilliant.
Weird
It's
Al's the
brilliant.
best.
And I feel like that's like the seal of approval for Weird Al. If you get like a guy like with his Michael covers, when you listen to him and you're like, this is amazing. That's his ultimate seal of approval. Being like having an ultimate fan like you listen to that and be like, I love that.
Especially with the pastiche, right? Because with the pastiche, he doesn't really need to get approval.
Yeah.
Right. And when you have fans of that artist go, oh, I totally get what he was doing there.
Yeah.
Right. Like I know Foo Fighters fans I've played My Own Eyes for, and they're like, oh my God, that's brilliant. That sounds like every Foo Fighters song. I'm like, yeah. And they don't take it as an insult, right?
Yeah.
The guys I've played for this stuff for are like Zappa guys. Like they want the original pressings of like 40-year-old Zappa records that like no one's ever heard of,
Yeah.
And they are like, oh my God, I totally get what he's doing here. This is brilliant. Right. So brilliant.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, that wraps up the tracks on Poodle Hat. We're going to have to take a break to listen to some ads. And on the other side of the ads, you're going to hear what Zakk, Russ, and I think of, what we think is the most underrated track on Poodle Hat. So anyway, like we always say, if you don't like the ads, blame the stuff that you're Googling because it's your own fault. So here are the ads.
Hey, this is Grab Brisket Podcast. Join us every Monday where we talk about the latest trends in barbecue, interviews with world top pitmasters, celebrity cooks,
Ooh, like Wee Man from Jackass.
and musicians.
Like Rich O'Toole.
So check us out. We do beer reviews, barbecue fails.
So many fires.
Dude, a lot of people just burn their houses down for no reason.
We also talk about cocaine hippos versus Beth Gators,
Learn how to make some tailgate gravy.
altercations with Texas Rangers.
People throwing Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, so check out grabthebrisket.com for podcast info, viral social media posts, and so much more.
And we're back. Yeah. I hope you liked those. And if you didn't like them, again, it's your own fault.
Yeah, just Google some better stuff.
Google better stuff. So, gentlemen, this is how the second half always goes, is my guests on the show get to talk about their most underrated tracks first. So, I don't know who wants to go first, Russ or Zakk. Who wants to
I'll go.
first?
Yeah, you can
I'll
go.
go. I'll tell you this much. Every time I listen to this record, my most underrated track changes. Today in the car, I changed 3 times. And if you heard in the first half, I went on in great detail about an original song on this record that just blows me away. And it's got to be the most well-aging, in a bad way, Weird Al song that there is Why Does This Always Happen to Me? Yes, it's a pastiche of Ben Folds, but I would argue that Ben Folds is a minor enough artist that you could play this for almost anybody and they wouldn't be like, oh, wait, does this sound like somebody else? Like, it sounds like an original song. Okay. Or if you're somebody who likes Ben Folds, then you would hear it and go, oh, okay, I hear he's doing Ben Folds, right? But like I say, when we went through COVID, like you said, and you're calling yourself on the carpet about this, but like, there's like a worldwide pandemic going on and they interrupt Price is Right. And you're like, oh God, why me?
It was literally every day. It was like 11:40. And I'm like, I'm going to miss the Showcase Showdown because of the governor.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, that's terrible.
All the way up to and including, and of course, like I say, we're not making light of the pandemic, certainly not making light of what's going on in Maui right now. But I literally know people who are posting on Facebook being like, oh, we had a cruise scheduled for Hawaii. Oh, what am I to do? And it's like, well, I don't know. What do you think the people there whose entire lifetime and generations, a culture who desperately cares about their generations and history has all literally burned to the ground. People are like, oh, my cruise, Yeah. So I just think, and when you listen to this, I think the verse that stands out the most for me is, because it encapsulates everything about our society, is where he in depth describes the horrific car crash. And he thinks about how he sees this guy splattered on the road that he knows. And he's like, the first thought is, oh, I just saw him the other day, which is what you always see people write, thoughts and prayers, And then, oh no, he owed me $5.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
Yeah. And it's like, that is the internet in a 3-minute song.
I think I felt you make that change in the car today because he was like, he still owed me $5. What a jerk. And like you went,
just,
and I was like, my mental note was, I think
let me say
this song.
I would love to be like, oh, what's the worst song on the record? This, because it aged so poorly and no one thinks like that anymore. But it's worse.
Yep.
So
everything's terrible.
Well, I'd love to tell you that mine is different.
Oh no, you have the same song?
Yes. After much deliberation, I had a few thoughts about a few other, but overall, while we were listening to the songs, I was like kind of gauging relevance and what I thought about them, and like if I'd ever heard the song before, or if I like understood the underlying, like if it meant something. And I feel like this song is silly, like all Weird Al songs, but it has a really good underlying message, and like you can tell that he very much cared about this.
Yeah, well, that he would like people to stop being like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. First of all, I kind of think it's very adorable that you both ended up picking the same song.
Mm-hmm.
Same song. I love that.
Song.
The same song. You picked the same song. I think it's great. And, so the song that you both picked was my third choice. If you both...
I had a very close second choice, but
if you both knocked off my 1 and 2. And so we have time here to kind of go through stuff. So since I'm here at the end, I will say that what I feel is the most underrated track on this is Party at the Leper Colony.
that was second for me by a sliver.
Okay, wonderful. And I'm glad that you feel that way. I love this song. I love Party at the Leper Colony so much because I love wordplay. I love a good hand jive. And I think...
And it's like all of that together right here.
Yeah. It's so much of everything. And, Zakk is going to open one of his cheap pops.
There you go.
Yeah. We have some off-brand cola. So he's opened a cheap pop.
Sorry
get a
to
cheap
interrupt.
pop. No, it's no problem. It's no problem. Yes! You got a cheap pop for that. And I think Party of the Leper Colony is delightful. And I saw him do this on the first iteration of the ridiculously self-indulgent ill-advised
I
vanity
saw
tour.
that tour and he didn't do it that night. I would pay double money for a ticket if I knew he was doing that song.
He did it the night that I saw him in Atlantic City, and he kind of opened it by saying that he was like, I'm kind of embarrassed
It bumps me out
that
so
I
hard.
thought of all of this because this is not there's nothing nuanced about this. And I'm like, Weird Al,
It's brilliant.
there is everything nuanced about this, first of all. Second of all, it is hilarious. Third of all, I think leprosy is kind of one of those diseases that we're kind of allowed to make fun of now.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
Or like,
not too soon.
has leprosy hit that point? Like, we're allowed to make fun of
Yeah,
leprosy.
It's definitely not too soon. Yeah.
You know? And this song is just so much fun and it's so funny. And
Well, it's another one of those Weird Al things where you have to be a certain amount of educated to even get these jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't know what leprosy is. And if you know what it is, then like you're already a certain level of intelligent.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you hear the song and you're like, what is he even talking about? What is a leper colony? Then you
Look it
look it up, like, and you learn something, and then the song is even more funny,
Yes.
right?
I did that.
Yeah.
I knew
you
what
did.
leprosy was, but I didn't know like I was like, what? I was when I was getting the cheap pops. I looked up. I was like, what is a leper colony?
Yeah.
And I looked up, so I learned something.
And then you
And
listen
so then,
to the lyrics
the
are
arm,
just ridiculous.
Her eyes literally fell out, and
Yeah.
like that's so it all makes sense because like body parts are just falling off.
Yeah, and like we're on the same wavelength. Apparently, it was my close second as well.
Yeah.
Like I those were the last two. Like when I walked in this room, I still hadn't decided. And as talking through the album and talking through the first half of the episode, I landed on that, and so we're on the same wavelength apparently.
I think that's wonderful.
I think there's not a wasted line in Party of the Leprechaun.
No,
Every
no.
line in the song makes me giggle to my core.
It absolutely does.
It is brilliant.
It's perfect. And I think this whole album has stuff that make you go, oh, he was just having fun
Yep.
with things because if I may, because I had a 3, I had a top 3, and we have time for me to share my top 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so my top 2, were kind of in the same Weird Al wordplay boat. So number 2 for me was going to be "Wanna Be Your Lover."
Yeah, that's fair.
I think musically it is one of those things that is different than what Weird Al generally does. And I would urge anybody who has not done so to search on YouTube for Weird Al doing "Wanna Be Your Lover" on the Wayne Brady Show.
Oh, it's I mean this in the most complimentary way I've ever used this word. It's gross.
It's disgusting.
It's gross.
And
in the most complimentary way I can use that word.
right. Exactly. The audience is not with him.
These women are not understanding what's happening.
And you get to the end though, and a couple of them are finally getting it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, white boy, I understand."
Yeah.
And it's so much. He commits to the bit so hard, and I think I have "Wanna Be Your Lover" and "Party of the Leper Colony" in my brain in the same Rolodex file because literally every line in those songs is a one-liner joke about the thing.
Right. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just very fun for me.
Yeah. The only thing about "Wanna Be Your Lover," there's 2 things about "Wanna Be Your Lover" that make it it's not a miss for me, but they register in my brain where I'm like, one, I've seen people repeatedly insist that it's a Prince pastiche, and I no. I don't even know what Prince song you heard that you think sounds like this, but there isn't one.
Can I ask a question? Is it
But
because
I have to say one more quick thing, or I'll forget it. You know how I do.
I know
I'll
how
forget
you do.
this.
Yep.
It's Beck during the Midnight Vultures phase has a song called "I Want to Get With You or Your Sister," which is like damn near this comedic. So when I hear that, I'm like, well, Beck kind of already made fun of what he was doing, right? You know, like he already made that like R&B over the top hilarious song, but like I like "Wanna Be Your Lover" better than I like the Beck song.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I guess like again, I haven't really dug into that era of Beck, so I can't really
it's there.
speak too much to it. But what I have heard people say is that is Beck doing a Prince impression.
ish. It's more Barry White than Prince, but yeah.
Okay, so that might be where any like Weird Al person would get that from.
Sure.
But that's the only thing that I have about that.
Yeah.
And do y'all want my number 3?
Sure.
I'm going to give you my number 3
Number
because
3.
it's eBay.
Oh yeah. It's eBay for me doesn't even register in an underrated conversation. Like if you're a Weird Al fan and you don't love eBay, then like we should have a serious talk about what it means to be a fan.
And that's the thing. And I had a hard time putting it in that particular conversation, but I feel like we had discussed in the first half of this episode, and first half I'm saying loosely, in the first part of this episode, because the second part is so much shorter than the first part, but it's fine. It's that this album, in my opinion, would have had an entirely different reception if eBay were its lead single. And the fact that eBay wasn't even like an actual like single at all, the fact that the lead video of this was a hastily thrown together video for Bob as a video pastiche of Subterranean Homesick Blues, and that we didn't get a video really at all for this album for anything. It's a bummer.
It's
an absolute bummer.
I feel like personally, coming from someone who went back and like, because I wasn't there when it was happening, all of the Weird Al stuff, going back, having those videos when I was like 11 or 12, watching all those videos, like the video for White and Nerdy. Like if I later on, like when I was like 13, went back and was looking at songs on YouTube that didn't have a real video, they're just like a picture of the album cover. I was like, oh my God, this would have an amazing video, eBay. It would have an amazing video.
And that's the thing, right? Is that so earlier when you said, like, oh, do you think Couch Potato would have been helped by a video? No, because Eminem's funny songs, Real Slim Shady, Without Me, and so on, had videos that were huge on TRL, right? eBay, or I'm sorry, I Want It That Way, ruled TRL. If Weird Al would have released a video for eBay that was anywhere near a direct visual parody of what the Backstreet Boys were doing.
Oh, with them wearing the things or holding the things.
Yes, it would have. I'm telling you, and this is all alternate timeline that we're in now.
I want to live in that time.
It would have topped TRL like with. Like I Want It That Way, and eBay would have been like on TRL at the same time, right? Whereas if he had done a video for Couch Potato, there's nothing fun there.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing he could have done was what he did with Perform This Way, which was like a generic Lady Gaga, these are things Lady Gaga has done video, right? And with Eminem, that wouldn't work because Eminem was known for blonde hair and baggy pants. Like his only visual, that's what he was known for, right?
And being an angry white boy.
Right, but what I'm saying is there's no way to get that across visually.
Yeah.
And nobody would have called into TRL and been like, I love Eminem, and that, okay, eat it, right? People were like, I love Michael Jackson, I love the visual of that, and also the guy from Eat It is doing it right. That's why people love the video for Eat It, right? People would have loved the video for eBay for those reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would have loved the video for Couch Potato.
And I feel like this album, like you said earlier, would have just done so much better if this was the lead single, first of all.
Even without a video.
Yeah, even without a video, but it having a video. And I feel like more videos in general for the Weird Al songs are just they perform a lot better if they have a video.
Yep.
That's just where I've seen in general. But
at the time,
Yeah, at the time.
It's not even at the time when he released.
No, I'm talking about now. Like music video is a lost art now, but at the time that this was relevant in 2003, a music video still would have been wildly
Oh,
appropriate.
for sure. And that's why when Mandatory Fun came out, it was a new video from a new video for a whole entire week.
Yeah.
So that's why you have 7 videos for Mandatory Fun, which is why somebody like you can look back on this album that came out in 2014 and be like, oh, I see that song. I see that song. I see that song. I see that song. You don't get that with Poodle Hat.
That album, Mandatory Fun, just a little off branch, got me into Weird Al a lot more because I'd already heard Eat It and Fat, and like those were songs that like very much like I was very young and I grew up with listening to those, and like then I heard his versions and I was like, this is amazing.
Yep.
And so I went back and listened to all those and I was like, oh, all these videos, so he'll have more for all. And then there weren't as many as there were for Mandatory Fun, so that was a little bit disappointing, but like that's where my general idea of if eBay had a video, it would have performed even after the fact a lot better. Like going back, like someone like me, and looking at the catalog, and just having something like that to go with.
Yeah, it's lack of proper promotion for this record. Whether you want to talk about music videos or what should have been parodied or what should have been a single. It's all part of the story of why this record as a whole is criminally underrated. And anybody who wants to tell me otherwise, I shall not entertain that discussion. That's why I told you I had to have. I told you I snoozed that Weird Al group for like a month because I was like, I'm not going to listen to this. You know what I mean? Like y'all don't even know what you're talking about. And you're gonna,
and that's the thing.
You're gonna come at me about how Poodle Hat's not a good record. Get out of here.
Poodle Hat is one of Weird Al's best records.
Oh, it's my personal favorite.
Yeah. And just because it didn't. Poodle Hat's better than Mandatory Fun, if you ask me.
I mean, it's in the discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. That's a whole.
There's a whole much going on. I think I need to do another album bracket over here on the Beard Owl podcast because we did that. We're pushing 2.5 years.
You do what we did on
that.
the Infectious Groove and do a tournament like album head-to-head.
We're
elimination tournament type thing.
We might do it. I think we've got the time and space to do it. So let's make it happen. So that'll be fun. You know what? Yeah. We're gonna map that out. We're gonna do a Weird Album tournament.
Get a big old whiteboard. Have the brackets with the album.
Oh my
covers.
god! Yeah, everybody's just. I'm gonna be like Charlie Day in that, like the Pepe Silva, like pointing out stuff on the board.
Right.
But this has been absolutely delightful. Look at this. I've got my family doing this. I mostly do this show with my family anymore, so
That's
it's
true.
fun. It's fun.
It's a family establishment.
It is a family establishment over here at the Beard Ale
I mean, it's not to
podcast.
say all the people I've heard on your show are all awesome. Like I've never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, everybody here is great, and I just think it's fun that like our Beard Owl family just kind of keeps expanding and growing, like with our Odd Pods Media Network like family, and then like our actual family like growing, and then all like the fan friends that we have on here, because I think the week after this is just gonna be one of our longtime listeners and friends of the show, Tyler, just going to be on to do this for another album. And I think that's, Weird Al's self-titled debut album. Oh, crap. Yeah. That's going to be so much fun. So I'm excited to do that. And I think this is one of the best Weird Al podcasts out there. And I'm very thankful to have the people out here doing it with me.
As you know, I like this podcast so much. I married the company.
I feel like just in general, the Weird Al fan base has taken on what he puts out and is just one of the more positive fan bases in music. And even like you were talking about, there are some people who are like, "Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that album." It's like it's a brand based on positivity. Just if someone likes that album, just be like, "Good for you."
Yep.
Right.
Yep, we keep it positive and just keep rolling with the positivity.
Yep.
And do that with Weird Al, do that with everything, do that with your entire life. So I think is this the time that I can push this button?
And that's when those security guards threw us out.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, husband Russ, stepson Zakk, both two people with 4-letter names with a consonant and a vowel, and then 2 more consonants that are the same, which, see, is a thing that happened there.
Yeah.
You're both delightful.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, look at us. We're a delightful bunch of folks. And as I alluded to, we're gonna have Tyler. You've heard Tyler on the show before.
Yes.
That's gonna be on next week. So that's gonna be so much fun. I'm very excited for that. And we'll catch you then. Have a good time. I don't know when John will be back, but his child was born safely. His name is Edward, and he's squishy little baby.
King Edward.
Edward.
Go listen to Poodle Hat again.
Yes, do that.
It's amazing.
Sorry, we got a 1. We got a pencil again.